In the last video, I said nobody really needs more than 75 horsepower, and I meant it. But today I just want speed. A lot of speed. This is the 2014 Lamborghini Huracán LP 610-4. And also, apologies for the unusually long introduction. The music was too good, and the car was too beautiful to cut away from, so I didn't. Besides, you have to have a Lamborghini in a dream garage. I don't think that's even a rule I invented. It just feels obvious. And yes, I do like cars made in this century, occasionally. This is probably the moment where I should say, don't try this at home, or on a highway, or anywhere else with actual traffic. You don't have a replay button. I remember reading about this car in Evo magazine when it arrived. The Gallardo had been around for more than a decade, and it had already made the idea of a smaller, more usable Lamborghini feel somewhat normal. And then the Huracan, sharper, cleaner, more modern, and underneath it all, a 5.2-liter naturally aspirated V10. No turbochargers, no hybrid system, just 10 cylinders and a frankly unreasonable amount of noise, 610 horsepower, 4-wheel drive, and for the first time in a Lamborghini, a 7-speed dual-clutch gearbox. At the time, that combination sounded almost perfect to me. Actually, it still does. Because the strange thing about this car is that, by supercar standards, it has a reputation for being surprisingly easy to live with, predictable, trustworthy. The kind of car that doesn't need to frighten you every few seconds just to remind you that it's special. Which might sound like criticism, especially when we're talking about a Lamborghini, but I don't think it is. The Huracan continued what the Gallardo had started, a smaller, more approachable Lamborghini. But approachable is a dangerous word, because this still has a V10 behind your head. And when the road opens up, the polite part of the car disappears very quickly. 10 cylinders is a strange number, not quite the traditional theater of a V12, not the familiar violence of a V8. A V10 has its own sound, its own rhythm. And for a while, Lamborghini built an entire generation of smaller supercars around it, because the car that followed this one went in a very different direction. Twin turbochargers, V8, electric motors, more technology and more speed. Progress in every measurable sense, but cars have never been only about the things we can measure. And that is why there won't be another car quite like this. The V10 had been screaming behind Lamborghini drivers for more than 20 years, and with the Huracan, it screamed for the last time.